This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start from scratch about this complete Excel training. First, we'll make a step what all things we should actually take care right from scratch till and how to analyze the data and create a report out of it. So first thing is always it is like understanding of data. So we have to understand the data because if you want to create any reports and if you want to apply any formulas on that, if you want to format that, so first we have to understand the data. Next is if there are any formulas to be applied, so we can apply the formulas. If you think that we want to do some formatting, say we can do some formatting. This is for creating reports. In this formatting, we have normal formatting, then we have conditional formatting, right? So if you want to arrange the data, then we have to use this sorting. Then if you think that I want to filter some data, then I have to use this filters. And then if you think that I want to create some reports by using pivot tables, then I'll be using pivot tables. So here, when I say understanding the data already, if it is cleaned and it is structured, then it is fine. We can go ahead with all the other process. Suppose if you think that they're not cleaned, then you have to clean the data. Then sometimes what will happen, the data will be in different folders or say different files or different sheets. Then we have to combine the data. Then suppose if the data is in different tables and we have to merge it, then we can also use this merging of the data. Okay, so there are so many things what we actually can plan to work with the Excel right from scratch of taking this data till we create the reports. So we'll go one by one. Let's go to one file. Let's say I have some file like this. I just open one file and I'll show you how the data will be in Excel sheet. So here I have the data in different sheets here like this. And same data, it is there in one single sheet. Now that's why I told understanding of the data is very important. Let's go here, let's change this to, I'm just formatting it. Right. If you see the data here, so same data what we have here and the same data what we have here in this file. How it is different, I'll tell you. In this table or in this sheet, all the data is there in one single sheet itself. That is every information right from customer name, segment, location, then products, categories, subcategories, sales, profit, everything is there in one sheet. But the same thing, if you go here in this sheet, in this workbook, we have the data in different tables. So if you see this, I have this sheet named data, but I have this in ID, say ship ID, customer ID, segment ID, location ID, product ID. If you go to the segment table, I have this segments. When I say segment 001, if you go and check, here I have this segment 001. So all this 01 will be this consumer, then 02 will be corporate, 03 will be home office. So likewise, I have this location ID, then I have this product ID. So all the IDs are available here, and the information about these IDs will be there in different sheets. Now, if you think that I want to get the data, say for example, I want to get the customer name here, or I want to get the region name for these location IDs. So then we have to think about formulas. So this is how we should start developing the skill of reporting. So as I mentioned, we need to create the reports. We have to first understand the data. That is the first step always. So it should not be like directly I'll start creating the reports. When I'm actually when I'm actually taking some project, or if you want to create some reports, first thing is you have to study the complete data and then we have to proceed. If the data was structured like this, which is already there in one single sheet, so I don't have to bother. But what if the data is scattered like this in different tables? First, let's understand why they actually keep this in different tables. They do this because the data should not be repeated. For example, if you go to this sheet, the consumer is actually repeating many times. Here the countries are repeating many times, cities are repeating many times. So what will happen is the data, what we have in this sheet, it is consuming a lot of space. But if you go to this sheet, here, whenever I need, I can just take the data to this sheet, or there are different process. I'll tell you how to get the data and connect each other and then create the reports. But let's go with some basic ideas. So first I need to get the data here, that is customer details. If you go to this customer table, here I have all the customer IDs and the customer name. So how to get the data here? Let's say equals, then I'll say Vlookup. So this is where the formulas come into picture. I want to get the data, that is customer data, to my data sheet from customer sheet. To extract data, or say to get the data, we use this VLOOKUP formula. VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. I will say equals VLOOKUP of this ID. When I'm selecting this ID, that means I'm trying to search for this ID and get the customer name for this ID, comma. Next, it will ask for table array. We'll go to this customer and select the entire table like this and press F4. When I press F4, that means we are trying to fix, that is, we are freezing the references, comma, and then we need the column index number, which says 1 and 2. I want the customer name, I'll say, comma. It lasts for exact match or approximate match. We'll take it exact match by giving the 0. I'll say close bracket and say enter. You can see that the customer name for this customer ID I'll get here. If I double click on this, I'll get all the customer names for this. This is when I'm actually trying to get the customer name from another table. I'll name this as customer name. One example I'm giving how to prepare the data or how to understand the data. We'll work on this VLOOKUP formulas later when we come to this formula section in detail. But I'm just telling you how we can actually go about bringing the data from other tables. Next, let's say I want to get the state for each locations what we have here. Same thing we can go here, say, or let's say I want to get region and say state equals VLOOKUP. I'm selecting this location ID, comma. Now I'll go to this location table. I will select the entire table and freeze it, F4, comma. Now we can select the column number. I want region, it is in column 3, comma 0, close bracket, enter. You can see that I'm getting this region south, depending on the location ID. I want the state. Let me copy this formula. I'll paste it in state. But now I need to change the column number. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go here and we'll make it as 4. Right. I got the state as well. Now select these two cells and double click. We'll get the region and the state. So if you think that I want to get the data from another table depending on some IDs, that is lookup value, then I can use this lookup value. So this is just to make you understand that how we can get the data from other tables and get prepared for creating the reports. So always the first step, understanding of the data, is very, very important. Sometimes we need to create some reports. I don't have the data, but I need to create some dummy data. So what people will do, they'll start entering the numbers or the IDs manually. Don't do that. So there are some simple ideas. Quickly, if you want to create some dummy data, how we can create. First, what we'll do is we have to plan the columns what we need. Say, for example, I want region, I want state. Then let's assume that I want the sales value, then profit, then let's say quantity, and then say growth percentage. So if you want to prepare some data like this, I cannot go and keep on typing it manually. It will take a lot of time. So how can we actually get data prepared for this kind of data set? As I mentioned, it's a dummy data. So what we can do is we can just mention region 01. Select randomly. I got this region 1. Next, I want region 2. Somewhere here, I'll just say region 2 and then select somewhere till here. Then region 3. I'm just trying to prepare some dummy data. That's it. How many regions you want, you can just go here and keep on creating it. Right. So region 4 and region 5. Let's take 5 regions. Right. I prepared few regions. I want the states. Let's say state 01. Say I'll just drag it. I'll get unique states here like this. All right. Now the numbers. I've seen some people entering some numbers like this. Keep on entering. So don't do this. If you want to prepare this, there is a formula called as rand and rand between. So what this rand and rand between will do, this will give me the random numbers. As I mentioned, this is a dummy data, so I don't have to bother about the exact data. I just want to get some data set prepared quickly. Now let's go here and I'll say equals rand between. When I say rand between, it lasts for the bottom and the top values. Assume that I want the data to start from 100, or if you think that I can have sales 0, comma, top I'll say some 25,000, say enter. I will get the values from 0 till 25,000 randomly. If I double click on this, you can see that I'm getting this data prepared immediately. So the rand between will just give me the data entered here automatically. Profit. Let's assume that this also I want the number from 0 to 15,000. This is just a random number what we're creating. Say copy this down, copy down, we can say select the entire range and say Control D. Shortcut key I'll just mention here, Control plus D, we'll say copy down. Okay. Quantity. Let's say the quantity again will take this rand between, will take the quantity from 1 to 100. Now randomly I'll get the numbers from 1 to 100. You can see that I'm getting the quantity. Again I selected and I used Control D. So either you can double click on this, it's called as fill handle, you can just double click on this, or you can copy this down. Growth percentage. For percentage I cannot use the same rand between formula. Go here, say equals, use rand. Rand will generate the numbers from 0 to 1, any decimal number. Say enter, you can see that I'm getting this decimal number. Let's go here and I'll say Control D. I selected the entire range here and say Control D. You can see that I'm getting this decimal numbers. Select, and then if you go here to this home tab and say number, here I have this percentage symbol. So this is used for formatting the numbers. I'll click on this percentage. You can see that it will get converted to percentage. So this is how I can quickly prepare the data set for my reports. A dummy data. Later on we can get the real data and then we can work on the reports. But here when I just click somewhere, you can see that the numbers are keep getting updated. I want this to be static now. Then what I'll do? Then we can use something called as paste special. How to convert this into values? Select all the data which you need to convert that into values instead of formulas. Control Shift, and if you take this right arrow, say Control Shift right arrow, it will select this range, and Control Shift down arrow, it will select the entire rows here like this. Control C, copy. Then we need to paste it as special. Alt ES is a shortcut key, or we'll go to this paste and say paste special. You will get this window. The window what we have here has got so many options to paste the values. I want to paste it just as a values. Select these values. Say OK. You can see that the entire data is pasted as values. So this is how I can get prepared for the data. Right. So now we understood how we can prepare the dummy data. Suppose if you already have the data here, then you can start creating the reports out of it. Right. So we understood how we can prepare the dummy data, or say the mockup data, or if you already have the data, how we can study the data. Next is we have to write some formulas to get the data, or to work on a few modifications of the data. Let's assume we'll go to this sheet. Let's work on some formulas. The formulas are actually classified into different types depending on the data. What is that? Let's say here I'll just mention the formulas. Formulas will be classified into text, let's say numbers, then we'll have date functions, then we'll have conditional functions, then we have lookup. We just saw the lookup functions, that is Vlookup. There are so many functions here like this, so I'll explain about all these functions. All right, first we'll go with this text functions. So what is this text function? Assume that I have some data here. Customer name. I want this customer name to be in capital letters or in small letters. So for that, we can use the formula. Let me just go here. I'll just copy this customer name and let's take it in another sheet so that we'll not mess up. You can see that I'm getting this customer name to some other sheet. I want to change all these names to uppercase, or say capital case. Let's go here, say uppercase equals upper of, select this name, just select this, say enter. You can see that the entire data, whatever is there, whatever cell we have selected, this will get converted to uppercase. Double click, you can see that all the names will get converted to uppercase within few seconds. What if I want to convert this into lowercase? Lowercase means the small letters, equals lower. Let's select this cell, enter. Now I will select the entire range, say Control D. You can see that the entire range, whatever is there, will get converted to lowercase. Next, suppose if you want to convert this into proper case. So what is proper case? Imagine I have the data in uppercase or lowercase. I want all the characters of every word. The first character of every word should be caps, like what we have here. We have something called as proper case equals proper, and let me select this cell. You can see that I'm getting this first character as caps. Every word first character will become caps, that is proper case. This is to change case. I'll just mention here as case. Right. What if I want to extract some data? For example, if you go to this sheet, I have something called as order ID, or we also have this product ID somewhere. Okay, we have this product. Let's take this product ID only. Then I have this product ID. I want to extract the data. What is that? Let me take this data here and I'll paste it here. You can see that I have this product ID. I want to extract this. Say, for example, I have three different divisions here. That is, first we'll say product code. I want to separate it. Then we have something here, say BO something. Let's say product code 2. And then we'll say product tag. No. If you see this, I have this FUR. I want this first three characters to be split here. The next two characters should be available here, and the last 8 characters should be available here. That means I'm trying to split this. We can use something called as left, mid, and right to do this task. Equals left of this text. Select this text, comma. It lasts for a number of characters. I'll say 3. You can see that the first 3 characters will be extracted like this. I want to extract the last 8 characters. Here we'll use right of this cell, comma, mention 8, close bracket. You can see that the last 8 characters will be extracted. What if I want to get the middle 2 characters? Then I can use function called as mid. Mid, it lasts for text. You can see that there is something called as parameters. These are called as arguments. Mid of, I have this text, select this text. Read this parameter, this will become very easy for you, comma. Starting number, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th position, whatever is there, I'll mention that 5th position, 5. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5th position, comma. It lasts for number of characters to extract. I'll say close bracket, say end. You can see that the 3 different divisions, whatever was there, that gets split. Double click. You can see that the entire cell, whatever is there, it will get split into 3 different columns like this. So this is to extract. Right. Next one is to find a character. Say, for example, let's go here to this customer name itself. I want to find the space position. Go here and we'll say find the position of the space. Here I have the space. I want the space here. So what we can do is I have one function called as find equals find. It lasts for the text what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find space, double quote, space, double quote, comma. Within this text, I'll select this. Say end. You can see that the space is in 7th position. Double click. You can see that I'm getting the position of the character which I'm looking for. It's not only about space. Any character you can look for. Let's say I want find character A equals find. I'll mention A, the capital A, and I'll select within this text, say enter. It is saying value error. When I get this error, that means the character what I'm looking for is not available. Let's double click. Wherever you see the values, that means there we find this A. This is for finding a character with exact match. That means it will search for character A with caps only. What if I want to search for smaller a? Then I have to go here and mention it as small a like this. Now if I copy this down, now you can see wherever small a is available, I'll get the results like this. If it is not found, then I'll get value error. So this value error we get when we try to find some character and that character is not available. I'll talk about these errors after this formulas. Let's go here. Let me make it as capital A, and I'm trying to search capital A. I'm getting some errors in some places. I'm getting the numbers. If you go filter it and see, you can see that I'm getting few of them has got numbers and some of them have got this value error. The value error we get if the character is not found. There is one more function called as search. Search and find both are same. The difference is search is non-case sensitive, find is case sensitive. What is the meaning of it? I'll say equals search find text. I'll say a small letter a. Select this, say enter, and if I copy this down, see wherever we have capital A or small a, both it will search. So we don't have to bother about whether it is the character is in capital A or small a. This is find and search. I'll tell you one more example for word as well. That is entire word. Now we are searching for only single characters. What if I want to get the total number of characters? I want to get the total number of characters in each cell. Then I have something called as len. Len of this cell, say enter, and if I go here and select this down, you can see that I'm getting the number of characters, the total number of characters. So let's make it as len find. Save this also so that you guys can refer this. Say name it as complete forms. Save. Right. This is for finding a character, finding space, and the total length. Let's go back to the data and we'll take this product name. This is how actually we should start developing our skills. Let me paste it here only. And let's assume that I want to find a word, some word. Say, for example, let's take envelopes. I want to find the word envelopes in this product names. And name it as find envelopes. Equals find. I'll put this word, complete word, comma, within this text. It says value error. Let's copy this down and see how many of the product names contains envelopes. You can see that there are so many numbers here and we have some values also here. I'll just uncheck this value while filtering and say okay. You can see that all these product names contains envelopes. So when are we using this logic? When my client or my manager or someone asks me to filter out all the product names where it contains envelopes. So here it is trying to find envelopes anywhere in the range. So in this cell, if I have envelope, yes, it will take. But if you think that you want to find exactly like what we have here with this characters, then I can use this envelopes. That is find. Let me just go here. I'll just uncheck this envelope. So here, if it is something like this, say in capital letters, say envelopes, it will say value error because this becomes capital letter. Even if one character is not matching, just observe, see, it'll throw error. But what if I want to find envelopes with any cases? Then I should use search. It is as simple as this, search envelopes. No matter whatever the case it is, it will give me the results. Say search and envelopes, select here, enter. Now if you go and check this, and if I just filter only the values, you can see that I'm getting results for both find and search. But where does this find difference? Say I'll make it as envelopes. See, find will not find it because the case is not matching, but search is non-case sensitive. So here I'll get the results like this. All right. Next function, we have something called as replace and substitute. All these functions are very important because when you're trying to work on some projects, or say when you're cleaning some data or you're trying to extract some data, all these are very important. Let's go and see how we can replace the characters. Name it as replace. Let's go here. We'll take some data. Let's take this order ID and then paste it here. We could have done in the same table itself, but it will be a little confusing. So I'm just taking this into another sheet. All right. First, we'll see replace and then we'll see substitute. Replace is a function which will replace a character by the number of characters we mention. For example, all this year 2017 has to be replaced with some other characters. Equals replace, select this cell. I want to replace this 2017 with X, all 4X, comma, starting number. From where I need to replace, say 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll mention it as 4, comma. It asks for number of characters. I'll say 4 characters. From fourth position, 4 characters has to be replaced with X like this, close bracket, say enter. You can see that CA. After that, the year gets replaced. Double click. You can see that I'm getting all the years, whatever is there in middle, gets replaced with X. Replace is used to replace the characters. The next, we have substitute. What the substitute will do, I'll tell you. Substitute will replace, but whatever character we mentioned, that character will be replaced. Means here I have this 2 hyphens. The hyphens has to be replaced by slash. Equals substitute. It asks for the text. I'll select this text, comma. It asks for old text. Let's take this old text is hyphen, and then we'll mention it as slash. The hyphen should be replaced with slash. Say enter. You can see that the hyphen is replaced with slash. And then double click. You can see that all the hyphens are replaced with slash. What if I want to replace only the first hyphen, not the second one? Then go here. There is one more parameter, instance number. Make it as 1. Say Control D. You can see that only the first hyphen will be replaced with slash. Okay. Next is about trim. Here we don't have any data like that. So trim, what it will do is if you have any data, let's take this customer name itself, put it here. If you think that there are some extra spaces, say I'll go here, I'll give some extra spaces for few of them. So if you think that there are some extra spaces like this, if you want to remove these unwanted spaces, then I can use this trim equals trim of this. You can see that the extra spaces will be removed. So trim will remove extra spaces. Let's go here, mention it as trim. Right. Save this. Let's take this customer name again. I'll paste it here. And I need only unique names. Assume that there are so many duplicate names here. I want to get the unique names. Select this data, go to this data tab. Here we have something called as remove duplicates. Select this and say OK. All the duplicates will be removed and only unique values will be available here. Assume that I want to get some of the names concatenated, that is merged. So how should we actually concatenate? Let's assume I will take some data. Here we'll take the customer name. So from beginning we will do. I'll tell you about the duplicate. Let's keep this as is. Duplicates. We'll take another sheet. Let it be as is. I'll just paste this. And here I will take the sales and I'll paste it. Then let's take the state and I'll paste here. What I actually want is I want to concatenate these three statements like this. Say the customer name, state, and the sales has to be concatenated, that is combined. Concatenate means combining. Equals concatenate. It lasts for text 1. I'll select this text 1, comma, say text 2, comma, and I'll select the sales. See, all these three columns are combined. Suppose if you want to add some more text here, I'll say, comma, this is text is from state, comma, see, I'm getting some statement like this. Then here I'll say as sales of, comma, enter. See, we can combine the statements like this as well. So here I'll give some space. See, I'm combining all these three by using concatenate. But the drawback here is I have to go here and say concatenate. I can only select the state, say the text like this. Say for example, I want to combine all these customer and say comma. So I have to keep using this comma separator for selecting all the cells. To overcome this, let me just copy this down. You can see that I'm combining. Here we'll say concat. Other way of concatenating is without using function, that is by using and symbol. Select this customer name, ampersand, double quote if you want to have something here, say is from state, then say ampersand, select this column and symbol, and then you can give as sales of ampersand and then select this. So this is another way of using concatenate. All right, what if I want to combine all these cells? Let's go to this sheet. If you want to combine the names here, I just take I've taken only the unique values because we're trying to combine the customer name here into one cell. Now we'll use something called as concat. This is a new formula, the new functions. What concat will do is equals concat. We just have to drag a range like this. That's all. Assume that I'm just selecting all these names, say enter. You can see that all the names will get concat like this. That means it is combined. Let's take very few. Just take few of them only. See, they are getting combined. That is concatenated. Concatenate function will use the comma separator for each cell. It cannot drag like this. But what if I want some comma separator here in the middle? Say after this each customer name, I need to combine the customer name with comma separator. We call it as delimiter. Delimiter means it is a comma separator. For that, we have a new function called as text join. How to join? Say equals, say text join. It lasts for delimiter. Delimiter means the character which separates, comma. So we have this comma separator. If you want to give a space, you can go here, comma, space, then comma. It lasts for true or false. When I say true, it says ignore empty cells. When I say false, it will say include empty cells. First, we'll go with this true. I'll tell you what is that. So here it says ignore empty cells. Say true, comma. Then it lasts for the range. Let me just select some range here from till here and say enter. You can see that the same thing gets combined here with the delimiters, that is separators. We can specify any separators here. We have mentioned ignore empty cells. Let me delete some of the customer names here like this. You can see that we're not getting any space here. It is just ignoring the blank space here. What if I would have used here false? Let's copy the same function here, the formula, put it here, but in this case, I'll make it as false. See, we can see that there is one space here like this. So wherever we have these blanks, there I'll get the space. So these are new functions which we can use, say concat, text join, and the formulas. These are the new text functions actually. Say new text functions. All right. So these are the text functions. Next, we'll see some of the date functions, and then we'll see some number functions. Date functions are actually used to work on dates. Let's go here. Let's take the order date. Copy this, and I'll put it here. There are very few date functions. Just zoom this. Look, date functions are actually used to work on the date. Say I want to extract day, month, and year separately. I have a date here. I want to extract day, month, and year separately. A simple formula, that is day, and select this cell. Say I'll get the day. Month, say equals month of this cell. I'll get the month. Equals year of this cell. Say enter. You can see that I extracted day, month, and year very quickly. Now let me select this and double click. You can see that immediately I could extract day, month, and year separately. What if day, month, and year was there in a separate columns like this, and if you want to convert that into date format, then I'll go here. We have something called as date function equals date. Now see the parameters. It says year. I'll select this year. Month. I'll select this month. Day. We'll select this day. Enter. You can see I got the date format like this. Double click. Automatically I'll get the date. That means if you want to extract day, month, or year from a date, then I can use this day, month, or year. If you think that I want to combine day, month, and year and get a date, I can do that as well. If you want to change the format, there are different ways to change the format, but there is one more function called as text, where we can convert this format to any kind of formats I want. Let's say equals text. So what this text will do, it will convert a value into any formats I want. Let's select this date, comma, I'll say TD MMM YYY. So what this DD YYY will do is, D is for day, M is for month, Y is for year. Say enter. You can see that the date is getting changed. This is by formula. Suppose if you want to change, this to format, that is by using date format. Say you go here and we'll say date, and we can change it in the format cell as well. Like this. You can see that it's getting changed here. So likewise, I can use this date function. Still, there are so many date functions like this. Say we'll go here and we'll check weekday and week num. So what weekday and week num will do? Say for example, I want to get the weekday of it. Say weekday. Sunday to Saturday, we have this week. That is Sunday is 1, Monday is 2, and it goes on till Saturday. Suppose if you want to get the serial number, that is weekday, then I'll say equals weekday of this date. If I say enter, you can see that I'm getting this 4. So this 4 is nothing but say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That is 4 is for Wednesday. Now let's copy this down. You can see that I'm getting the serial numbers here. So 1 is for Sunday, 2 is for Monday, and it goes on up to Saturday, that is 7. We have something called as week num. Week num will give me the weekly number for the entire year. Week num, and I'll select this, enter, and see that it says 45. That is, this date is 45th week of the year. Just select, and see that I'm getting this weekly numbers. All right. Next, we'll see what is today and now. This is very important. I want to quickly get today's date. Just mention equals today. Open bracket, close bracket, no other parameters. Say enter. You can see that I'm getting today's date. If you want to change the format, say Control 1, and you can change the format here. Whichever format you want, you can just change it. Say I'm getting this today's date. Now will give me the current time. That is the time what we have the current time in our system. Now open bracket, close bracket, say enter. You can see that I'm getting this 10:08. Control 1. If you want, you can go and you can select the time here. I'll get the time. There is a shortcut key as well. You can use control and semicolon, will get today's date. Control shift semicolon will get the current time. This also we can use. Shortcut key is control plus semicolon, like this. Control plus shift plus code. This is for time. So this is for date functions. All right. Now let's go to number functions, which is very important now. Let me just take a few columns here. I'll just take customer name and we'll put it here. And we'll take this sales, quantity, discount, and all these things. And I'll paste it here. Right. Let's remove this discount. Okay. So I have some columns here with customer name, and then I have this sales. Instead of customer name, let's take order ID. That will be the appropriate column. Okay. I want the total sales. Total sales in the sense, I want to get the entire sales, whatever is there. I have to make a total of it. I have almost more than 9,000 records. Now, if you go and keep adding one by one, so people what they do is they'll go here, say equals this cell plus this cell. So if you keep doing like this will take a lot of time. But what I actually want is, I want the total of the entire column here equals sum. Sum will give me the total of the range what we selected here. Say sum, like this. Or we'll go here, say sum, and we'll take these three columns here. Total sum equals sum of the entire range. Say enter. You can get the total here. This is the total sum. Next is the quantity. The equals sum of this range. So select this, Control Shift down arrow, enter. I'll get the total of quantity. Then profit, say equals sum of the entire range. I got the profit. So this is for total. That is sum. Now what if I want to get the average? Let me just keep this here and I'll say average. If you want to get the average, say equals, there is a function called as average. It asks for the number, so I'll go and select this sales entire range, say enter. I'll get the average here. Quantity equals average of this quantity. Enter. So I'll get the average. Average of profit, say average of profit. Enter. Like this. Now suppose if you think that I want to get the count, let's go here, just paste it and I'll say count. Count, there are three types. One is count, count A, and count blanks. Let's take one example of this one and I'll say order ID. Let's take this order ID here. I want to know how many orders have been done. Equals count A. When I'm counting alphanumeric, that is text as well as numbers, then use count A. Let's select the entire range, say enter. You can see that I'm having 9,994 records. Let me just delete few. You can just see that the number is getting less. The count A will count numbers as well as text. That is alphanumeric. That is why it's called as count A. But this will not count blank cells. Let's go to the cells. I have this number, say equals count. Count will not count text. Let me just select this column and say count. See, it says zeros because here count will not count text. It will count only numbers. Let's say equals count and I'll select sales. Here you can see that I'm getting same numbers. Let me just make this also blank. See that is getting blank here. That is, it is giving me the results without counting blanks. What if I want to count blanks? Then I have a function called as count blank. This is count A. This is count. So what count blank will do is it will just give me the number of blanks equals count blank. And let me select this entire range. Here I'll select. So whatever blanks are there, it'll just give me the number of blanks. You can see that I'm getting the blanks here like this. Save. All right. Next is the minimum and maximum. I want to get the minimum sales value or the maximum sales value. Let's take this minimum of sales. We have a function called as minimum. Say min of, select this range. And 0.444 is the minimum value in this sales. That is the minimum sales value. Maximum, if you want to get maximum value of sales, same formula, but here I'll use max of. Select the entire range. Enter. See, I'm getting this is the maximum value. So what we got here is the minimum and maximum, that is extreme lowest and extreme highest values. But what if I want to get the third highest or fourth highest or fifth lowest? In that case, we have a function called as small and large. What the small and large will do, say I want to get the smallest value of sales and largest value of sales equals small. This will act exactly like the minimum, but we can specify the, select this small, I took the range, and here I'll say comma, it lasts for k. I'll say I want third highest value. See, 0.836 is the third lowest value. Sorry, small is for lowest value. Same thing, I'll say equals large. We have this array, select this array and say third largest. So this is the third highest number, like this. So this is the number functions. All right, let's save this. So whenever you want some average, minimum, or if you want to count something, then I can use these functions. Next, we'll see the conditional statements, the conditional formulas. This is again a very important thing if you want to work on the calculations for some of the values. Say we'll go here. What we'll do is we'll take the category, subcategory column, and we'll put this here. And then we'll take the sales value and we'll just put next to it. All right. First, we'll understand the if conditions. If conditions are actually used for getting the results based on conditions. Here we'll say conditional statement. All right. I want to classify this to high, low, or we'll say status. I want to classify this sales value into high or low. Just two status, high or low. If the value is above 10,000, then let's consider this sales value as high. Otherwise, it should be low. We'll write a formula like this, say equals if. You can see the logical test here, say if logical test, that is nothing but the condition. Select this greater than 10,000, then I'll say high, else low. That's all. Condition, then true value, then false value. I will close the bracket and say enter. All the values which are above 10,000 will be considered as high. All the values which are less than 10,000, it will be considered as low. Let's go and check. Here you can see high. I'll just try to filter it. You can see that very few values are about 10,000, which is saying high. If you want to change this, you can go here, change the condition. I'll make it as 5,000 and control D. Go here and check this high. You can see that there are more values now which are above 5,000 will be high. This is normal if condition. What if I want to use nested if condition? What is nested if condition? I'll tell you. When I use only one statement, that is single condition, then it is normal if conditions. If you want to check more than one condition, then it is called as nested if condition. Let's go here, say equals if logical test, if it is greater than 5,000, then it should be high. So this is what we do. But next I'll put one more condition saying if the sales value, select this, sorry, if the sales value is greater than 2000, then it should be medium. So there is one more true statement, one more condition we have to check. That is, I'll say if this value, that is sales value, is greater than 2000, then medium, else low. Close bracket and again close bracket. So one bracket is for this if condition, second bracket is for this if condition. I'll say enter. Now if I copy this down, I can see that the status will be three status: high, low, and medium. Now if I select this high, all the values which are above 5000 will be high. If you go and select medium, all the values from 2000 up to 5000 will be medium, like this, and anything less than 2000 will be low. Right. Now we understood about this if conditions. Now there are some more if conditions where we can do the calculations. What are those? If you go to these numbers, we had this sum, average, or minimum, or maximum, or count. Similarly, we have something called as sum ifs, average ifs, max ifs, min ifs, count ifs. What are these? Let's go here. I'll take this category and let's paste it here. And remove duplicates, that is, go to data and say remove duplicates, say okay. What I want here is, I want the total, but based on these categories, that is based on some conditions. If it is furniture, I want to get the total for furniture. If it is office supplies, then I want to get the total only for office supplies. So if you want to do something like this, that is based on some conditions, then you have to use sum ifs, average ifs, max ifs, and min ifs. Let's see how to do this. Sum ifs equals sum ifs. It actually says sum if the condition is true. If you want to get the total, just use sum and select the range. The task is done. But what I actually want is, I want sum if the condition is true. In this, the condition is all the categories which are furniture to be totaled by this sales. Read the parameter. It says sum range. Sum range is nothing but the range where I'm trying to get the total. That is sales. Let's select this. Press F4, which makes the cell reference as absolute. Criteria range. Criteria range is the condition what I'm checking. This is the range. That is this category. I'll go here, select this entire range, comma. In this criteria range, what is the criteria I'm checking? I'll say furniture. Say enter. You can see that I'm getting the total only for furniture. If you think you want to check that, filter it by furniture, and then if you do the total, if you get the total here, see, it is 741,999 something. It is getting rounded off here to 742,666, like this, 7,42,000. That means the formula is right. Let's copy this down. You can see that I'm getting total for office supplies and technology. That is the total. What if I want to get averages? The average for the furniture, office supplies, and technology. Now we have the function called as average ifs. I have this average range, that is nothing but this sales range. Here I'll say F4, comma. Then criteria range is nothing but the category. Selecting this category, and then let's select this category. This is the average for each category. Then we have max ifs, min ifs, and say count ifs. So what we'll do, if you see this, the selection of range is same for all the functions. Only thing, the function will change. The selection criteria is same. So what we'll do, let's copy this and I'll put it in max ifs. Here instead of average ifs, I'll mention it as max ifs. See, I'll get the maximum value in furniture, maximum value is office supplies, maximum value in technology. Same thing applies to minifs. I'll go here, I'll just remove this minifs. You can see that the minimum value in each category. Countifs. Here, countif will not have all the parameters. Say countifs, it lasts for criteria range directly. It will not have something like sum if, sum range or average range or max range or something. It directly will go to the criteria. So what this will do is whenever you feel that how many times furniture is repeating, how many times office supply is repeating, how many times technology is repeating, if you want to do that, let's go here. I will select category range, say F4, comma, and we'll select the criteria. That's it. If you go here, you can see that I'm getting the number of times furniture is repeating, office supply is repeating, technology is repeating. Suppose if you think that I want to have multiple criterias, say for example, I have this category, then I want the subcategories. Say for furniture, we'll take bookcases, office supply, I'll take the storage, and technology, I'll take this phones. I'll say subcategory. So same thing. Now, if you want multiple criterias, like what we had this nested if, here suppose if you think that I want to have multiple criterias in category, in bookcases, what is the total sum? Then same process, sum ifs, it lasts for sum range. I will select this sum range, F4, comma, but here it lasts for criteria range 1. The first criteria is category. So I will select this category, I'll say F4, comma, and select the category. Comma. Next is criteria 2, that is subcategory. Let's select this subcategory and then we'll select this bookcases. You can see that I'm getting the total for furniture and bookcases. Here it says 1,14,880. If you think that you want to go and check this, filter and say furniture, and here we have this bookcases. The total, if you do, I should get, see, 1,14,880. It is perfect. Now averages. So again, similarly, like just copy this. The range is same, only the function name will change. I'll make it as average. If you think you want to select, you can select and do it. But I'm just doing it because it is similar selection. So instead of again selecting all this, I'm just using this functions here. All right, minifs. So we'll get the minimum value of the criteria what we have. Countif again say equals countifs, and here we have this category, then the criteria, then we have this subcategory F4, comma, and I'll select this subcategory like this. The combination of furniture and bookcases will have 228 rows. Office supplies with storage 846 rows. Technology and phones will have 889 rows. If you change something, say for example, I'll go here for technology or something, say I'll change this technology and accessories. Just observe, see, automatically the values will get changed. This is conditional formulas. Right. Next is about the lookups. What are these lookups? Lookup means you're trying to look up some value. The beginning itself, while understanding the data, we just took this lookup formulas and we did somewhere here. Here. So we took the lookup formulas and we just try to take the values. That is from the IDs. So here, I think in this example, yes, here. Just took this VLOOKUP and we tried to get the IDs. Right, so what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll take this order ID and just paste it here. Suppose if you think that I want to get some data here, say I want to get customer name, try to remove all the duplicates. So make sure that always make sure that the lookup value, whatever is there, we should have the unique values. Then only we'll get the proper results. A customer name. Then let's take region, say state, and then we'll say sales and profit. Imagine I want to get the data customer name, region, state, sales, profit from this table. That is from some other workbook or sheet. Let it be anything. It is similar. So some people actually think that we look a formula for another sheet or for another workbook. Is it different? Nothing like that. I'll show you. It is very simple. All the formulas, whether it is within the sheet or it is across the sheet or across the workbook, the formula is same. Let's go here, say equals, Vlookup, select this value. Now let's fix the column because I'm copying the same formula here. Now I'm trying to show you how to make this Vlookup formula dynamic. Let's say I'll just insert some rows on top. I'll tell you why. Equals Vlookup of this value. I'll fix the column so that when I'm copying this towards my right hand side, the reference should not change, comma. Table array. Table array is nothing but from where we're actually looking for the data. In this case, the data is in different sheet. If you think that I want to bring that into my Excel sheet where we have the data, yes, I can do that. Otherwise, you can just use Alt tab and you can select the entire range here. But make sure that the column, what I'm actually looking for, say the range or the cell, the lookup value should be in the first column. So order ID is what I'm trying to look. I will select the order ID on the table. I'll say F4. Press make it complete. Absolute reference, comma. I want the customer name. Just observe. I'll go here. I want the customer name. I need to count. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Customer name is in sixth column. I'll say 6, comma. I'll say 0 for exact match. Say enter. So it is saying NA. Let's see whether this data is there or not. Okay. So NA we get when the data is not available. Let's go here. We'll search for that ID. If there is any mistake, then we can correct it. Equals. So this is how actually we should QC. See, that ID is not there. Right, no problem. So we have taken. Let's take this ID. Just put it here. We'll just remove the duplicates. And now, see, it is available. Now let's double click on this. I'll get the customer name for all the order IDs, whatever is there. Now let's assume I'm just copying this to right hand side. I want to get the region, state, sales, and profit. The problem here is every time when I'm copying this, I have to go here and change this column number. Let's go here. Region, I have to go and count. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I have to go here and change this. Let's not do this. We'll do something different where we can get the results just by one formula. I'll write drag and drop. I should get the results automatically. How to do that? Let's go here. There is a lookup formula called as match. What match will do is it will give me the index number. What is index number? Say column number. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know which column it is. I want to get the column number. For that, we have a function called as match. Equals match of. It lasts for lookup value. Let's select this lookup value. This is the lookup value. That is match will give me the index number. Whether it is a column index number or row index number. I'll tell you both the ways how we can actually use this match. Now I need the column index number, comma. It lasts for lookup value. We'll go to that table array. From here, I'll select the entire range like this and say enter. You can see that I'm getting the column index number. Let's drag it. You can see that I'm getting, sorry, you have to fix this, comma, see, I'm getting the index number automatically. Now I don't have to count. Let's do the same thing what we did just now. We look up formula, look up value, comma, then we have the entire table to select F4, make it absolute, comma. This time I'll not mention the column number. You go to the sheet, I will select this value and fix the row number. Why? Because match will give me the index number, comma. Now just drag, that's all enough. See, we have to fix this, sorry. We have to fix this column here. Now let's drag it towards my right hand side. You can see that automatically I'm getting this result. Now copy this down. See, within few seconds, we can finish this task. So when I'm using this match, what it will do is it will give me the index number. This is by using Vlookup. Same example. Let me just copy this. I'll put it here. Just I'll paste it here. I'll type it as Vlookup. I want this by HLookup. Let me put this as HLookup here. And I'll remove all this. We'll do it from beginning. Imagine that we just got the results by say Vlookup. Vlookup is nothing but vertical lookup, that is from top to bottom. It will search and get the results. HLookup means it will search horizontally like this. How to use this HLookup? See, here we'll say equals HLookup. Now the lookup value will be this one, not this, because this is say vertical and this is horizontal. I'll say I want the lookup value is customer name. I'll just fix the row number, comma. The table array will go to this table, and here I'll select this table like this. Let's select the entire table. F4, make it absolute. But here I want to get the order ID number, the row number. Here I have this order ID. Now I have to go and check this order ID number. Previously it was countable, that is customer region or something. I could have counted the column, but now I need to go and check this order ID. So what we'll do, go here and we'll check that order ID. But do you think we can count it? We cannot, because there are so many IDs here. So here we got this 152, 156, and I can say 1, 2 or whatever, but it is difficult to get the results now. So in this case, I'll use match, but not for this. We'll use for order IDs now. Equals match of this value, comma, the lookup array will be this one now. Say F4, comma 0. I'll get the row number now. Now what I'll do, I'll say equals HLookup of this value, fix the row number, comma, the table array is this one, comma, row index number will be this one. Press F4 and make the column as fixed, comma 0. Now I'll get the results here. It says customer name. Let's see. From where did we take this index number? We'll just check. This is also very important. From where you have taken the, okay, this should be from B1. Yeah, now I got it. Because I had taken the index from some other range. So that's why. Say Control D, Control R, you can get the result like this. This is by HLookup. So we can use any formulas. We can mix and match all the formulas here, and we can get the results. Suppose if you think that I don't want this match function here. I want directly take the values in the formula itself. If you go here, I'm using this match. So I'll fix this and take the entire formula here like this. From here, copy this, and instead of this B1 which I'm referring here, I'll just paste this. Now this will become one single formula. Say Control D, say Control R. I'm getting the results. Now even if I delete this, I don't have to refer anything here. If you think that you want to take this formula to this formula here where I'm referring this H4, let's go here. 6, 4, and just fix this column. Copy this. Don't copy the equals. Just go here, remove this H4 and say paste, say enter, and get the results like this. And I can delete this as well, like this. So likewise, I can use these formulas to extract the data or clean the data or get the data from various different tables. Right. So this is about the formulas. Now, there are some errors what we get while writing the formulas. We'll do that as well, and then we'll go for other options. Errors. What are errors? Say, for example, let's take this value and I'll paste it here. Or we'll take some more data here, paste it. Paste it as values. Okay. Here I'm trying to divide some number like this. You can see that I'm getting some results. But if I'm trying to divide a number by 0, you can see that I'm getting this error. The reason why I get this error is if any number dividing by 0, we get this division error. So how to handle this? Say I cannot always say that my profit should always be having a value. We cannot do that. Let's go here. Cut this. Say if error. If there is any error by dividing this, then say 0. Now you can see that even if I'm getting any error, it will not show me as the error. It will just give me as 0 only. Otherwise, what will happen is if I'm not giving this if error, there are chances that we get this division error like this. So like this, we have so many other errors also. Let me just tell you about those things. Say division error like this. Next is name error. This name error we get when you're not giving a proper function name, say equals. Instead of sum, I would have given Sam. And let's say I'll try to add this to see, I'll get this name error because it is trying to get the function name. It should have been sum. The Sam is not a function, so it is throwing error saying that I don't know the function name. Next error, we have this value error. We know that value errors, we just saw that in find function. There are many ways where we get this error, say equals this value divided by this value. See, I'll get this value error. Or find error, say we get this value error when you're trying to find also equals. I'll say find and I'll try to find some character in this cell. See, I'll get this value error. So these are some of the errors what we get. Still, there are so many errors like num errors. Then we have NA errors, not available, reference errors. Okay, so these are some of the errors, but these are the common errors what we get. So these are the formulas. All right. Next one, we'll see again about how to sort the data. Sorting, say we know that sorting means arranging of the data. It's not a very complex thing or say advanced thing. It's very simple. Let's take some data. So it is very simple to take the data to another sheet and work instead of having the entire data. And we'll take this customer and let's take the sales. We'll take this category, subcategory also. Then let's take the sales one. I'm just taking few columns. Right. So I have one column for date. Then I have text. Let's try to sort. Sorting means arranging. Arranging means I can arrange the data by ascending order or descending order. Let's go here, say sort. Say we'll go to this data and I have this sort, and here I'll get one window like this. Add level, delete level, copy level or something. This is called as the level. I need to sort on which column. Let's go here. I can select all the columns here, but make sure that my data as headers is selected. If I'm not selecting this, even the heading also will be sorted along with the data. Let me select this, my data as headers. I'll click here, and here I have this order date, customer name, category, and all these things. Let's say I want to sort the data by customer name. Here it lasts for A to Z, that is ascending order. If I say Z to A, that is descending order. I'll say A to Z, say okay. You can see that the data is getting sorted alphabetically. Now let's say I want to sort the data by category here. After that, I want to sort it by subcategory. So first what it will do, it will sort the data by category and then by subcategory. See, first by category and then by subcategory. So within that category, the subcategories are sorted like this. Now within that, if you want to sort the sales value, so if I go here, say sort, select the data, sort, and I'll add one more level and I'll say sales. But you can see the order here, first category and then sales and then subcategory. I want first category, then subcategory and then sales. So what we'll do, here we have this order. Select this, I'll just move this down like this. Say okay. Now you can see that first category is sorted, subcategory, within that sales is sorted. Sales is sorted by ascending order. If you think that I want to sort it by descending order, you can go here, say largest to smallest. For any text, it will say A to Z. For any numbers, it will say largest to smallest. I'll say okay. You can see that it's getting sorted. Now, if you want to sort it by date as well, then say sort. Here I'll say add level. Then first, let's say I want to sort it by category, subcategory, and after that, I'll sort it by date. And then within date, I'll say largest to smallest. So here I'll say oldest to newest or newest to oldest. Newest means the latest date will come on top. Say okay. See, first category and then subcategory and then the date, and then within the date I'll get this sorted. So if you see here, if I have any common date here, so this one it will just try to sort it like this. So you can sort the data according to your needs based on the selections like this. So sorting is a very simple task actually. It is just to arrange the data. That's all. Right. Next is about filters. Filter is actually used to filter the data. Say for example, let's go here, select this range, the same range, say filter. If I click on this filter, I'll get some icons here, small icons here. I want to filter by category. Let's go here and say by furniture. You can see that the data is getting filtered only by furniture. Within that furniture, I want to filter, say chairs. You can see that I'm getting only these chairs. So again, filters are very simple. Now, if you think that I want to filter by numbers, let's go here. Here I have so many numbers. Either I can select here these numbers, or I'll say filter numbers. Here I have so many different options. So I want to filter all the values which are greater than or equal to 1000. Say okay. See, all the values which are greater than or equal to 1000 will be filtered. If you think that I want to filter greater than or equal to or between, say 1000 to 2500. Say okay. See, only those values will be filtered here. Right. Suppose if you want to filter date, you can go here. You can say filter date. Let's say I want to filter the date only for 2018. Just select this year. Say okay. Only 2018 will be filtered. Within that, if you think that I want to filter the month, then I'll go here. I'll say I want all the data 2018 December. You can see that I'll filter the data like this. Also, we can have filters like this. Say, go here, say text filters, say begins with, contains, starts with, say begins with A. I want to filter all the customer name begins with A. Say okay. All the customers begins with A will be filtered like this. Okay. So this is about filters. There is something called as advanced filters as well. So what is this advanced filters? Let's see a few examples. I will just insert some rows here. I want to filter something and copy and paste the filtered data somewhere. Assume that I just copy this table. This is called as the criteria range. We have to create a criteria range. This is advanced filters. I want to filter, say this guy, Jason Gross. Category will be furniture and bookcases as subcategory. Let's try to filter normal filter about this guy and see how many records are there. Jason Cross and bookcases. It's got only one data. So or what we'll do, we'll not take this bookcases. We'll just take this guy, Jason. Okay. And furniture has got some records here like this. So if you want to filter this guy and paste the data somewhere, we can use advanced filters. How to do that? Let's say I have this customer name. I've just put some data here. Category, I put some furniture. That is some category here. Let's go to this advanced. Once I say advanced, I'll get one small window like this with few selections. My intention is to copy the data from one location to another location. I'll say copy to another location. List range. I'll select this list range. List range is nothing but the data where I'm trying to filter. This one. Then criteria range. Let me select this. Here I have the criteria which are specified. I'll select this. And then it will say copy to another location. I'll click here. Say okay. You can see that the data what we wanted, that is, it is getting filtered and I'm taking this somewhere. Right. So we understood how we can use this advanced filters. Now, let's say I want to filter all the categories with furniture that are greater than 5,000. Why I'm checking here is just to check whether the records what I'm trying to look is available. Otherwise, if it is not there, then we'll not get any results here. Let's check. Okay, see, above 5,000, there is nothing. I'll go here, I'll make it as about 2,000. Now, I want the data to be filtered and copied and pasted. So I have some criteria here saying that category is furniture, sales should be above 2,000. Let's try the same thing. I'll go to this advanced filter, copy to another location, list range. I'm selecting this, and then we'll select criteria range. That is, this is the criteria range. Then I'll say copy to another location. I'll select here and say, okay, you can see that there are so many data here which are about 2000 is getting filtered. So you can keep mentioning the criteria here, filter the data and copy and paste here by using advanced filters. All right. Next, after this, let's see conditional formatting as well. Conditional formatting is to format the data based on conditions. Assume that I want to format or say highlight all the values. So here I have some values, that is sales values, which are above 5,000. I need to highlight. Let's go here, select the data here like this. And then go to this home tab. Here I have this conditional formatting, and here we have a lot of options. My intention is to highlight all the values which are above 5000. Here I have an option called as format only cells that contain, and here I have this cell value. I'll say greater than or equals to 5000. Or if you think that I want to make it somewhere from 3000 also, it's fine. Format, and here we'll say fill and select some colors and say OK. Say OK. All the values which are above 3000 will be highlighted. Let's filter numbers greater than or equals to 3000. See, all the values above 3000 will be highlighted like this automatically. If you go here and if I change this to 4000, you can see that it's getting highlighted. I want something, say, let's remove this clear, and I'll clear this. I want some icons to be given. Select this column. Go here, say icon sets. They have different icons. Depending on the icon, say I'll select this traffic signal. I'll click on this. Depending on the value, I'll get this icons here. But how did these icons come? Let's select this. Go to this condition formatting. Now I'll say manage rule because already I have applied the rule. Manage rule. Here I have this manage rules. Double click. Here it says percentage. Let's convert this into number. Any value above 3000 should be green color, the icon. Any value above 1000 should be yellow color. Anything less than 1000 should be a red color. Say okay. Now if you just go and see it is green color because it is above 3000. It is yellow color because it is between 1000 to 3000, and all the red colors are below 1000. Now if you want to sort it, let's sort it. Let's go to this data and I'll say sort. Select the data, sort, and let's sort it by sales and say largest to smallest. Say okay. You can see that all the values above 3000 will be green color. All the values up to 1000 will be yellow color. You can see that. So anything less than 1000 will be red color like this. So this is conditional formatting, that is formatting the data based on conditions. We can also give, let me remove this, conditional formatting, say clear. We can also give a kind of chart effect as well, that is data bars. Just select any of this. Let's say I'll select something like this. Here the values are very small, so it's coming something like this. I'll just increase this. You can see I'm getting a chart kind of thing here like this. So as and when it's going down, it becomes very less, so the chart becomes very small like this. So we can use this values. So likewise, I can use this conditional formatting as well. Right. Next is about sorting. We saw filtering. We saw. Then we'll see about the pivot tables, which are very important, and we'll see something advanced pivot tables as well. Then how to create pivot charts or charts after this. Let's say we understood about the conditional formatting. The conditional formatting is just to format the cells based on the conditions. Right. Let's close all this. Okay. Now let's come to our Excel sheet, which we just took the data, and we'll work on some reports now based on this pivot tables. Okay. Let's close this as well. Let's close all the files so that we'll have only those files which are required. First, we'll see how to create a very basic pivot chart, a simple one. Then we'll go ahead with creating the advanced way of creating pivot charts. In Excel, whenever we want to create reports, either we have to use formulas different formulas and then summarize the data, and then we can create the reports. But there are a few options which will help us in summarizing the data. That is, we can create the reports in a very simple way. So in that, pivot table plays a very important role. Let's see how we can actually use this pivot tables, and then we can create the reports. Right. We're trying to create one simple pivot table by using this data, which is in single sheet, that is only one sheet. Let's go to this insert. Here I have something called as pivot table. Click on this pivot table. You can see that I'm getting something here as range. When I'm creating a pivot table like this is like a fixed range. Fixed means if I'm adding extra data, this will not get refreshed, means this will not get added to the pivot table even after refreshing it. Let me show you. So I'll go here, I'll select this, say okay. You can see immediately I got some pivot table here. Let's say I want to take the region, or we'll take the state, and I'll drag and drop here. So we have four boxes here. One is filters, columns, rows, and values. When I say filters, that means it's a page filters. That is, the entire table will be filtered. When I say columns, that is nothing but the column headers. Then we have these rows, that is row headers, and values will give me the summarized values. So pivot table is actually used for summarizing the report. Say I'll take this sales and I'll put it here. You can see that I'm getting this sales. Let's take this profit and I'll drag and drop it. So I got the sum of sales and profit. But if you think that I want to have some filters on top, that is page filters, I'll take this region and I'll put it here. You can see that I'm getting some. Let me just change this font to here. All right, you can see I'm getting some filters here. Let's go and click on this and say central. You can see that I'm getting only data for central. Let's click on east. Okay. This is the traditional way of creating this pivot table and summarizing the data. But there are so many things what we can learn here. Say I have this state. Let's go here and I'll take one more column, say ship mode, and I'll just drag it and drop it below this state. When I do this, you can observe I have a state. Just below that, I have this ship mode. I'm having some buttons here like this, a small buttons which can collapse or expand. If I click on this, it'll expand or it'll collapse like this. So here, this is the total, that is subtotal for these ship mode. But I want this reports to be something like the state in one column, ship mode in another column, but here I'm getting state and ship mode in the same column. So if you want to change the layouts, the simple way is go to this design. Here I have so many different options to work on. Here I have this report layout. Click on this, convert this to tabular form if you want this to be in different columns like this. If you see that the state and ship mode is in different column. I have this subtotal. I don't want this subtotal. I have to remove this. I want to remove this subtotal. Here in this layout, I have this subtotal. Just go and say, do not show subtotals. See, all the subtotals are gone. But you can see that there is some blank value like this, say blanks. Why this blanks will come is it is trying to take this pan, that is the state, and this is the complete pan for this. But I want to fill this. What will happen is when I'm copying this data, let's say I want to create some reports, summarized reports. I'm just taking this and I'll take one sheet, and if I paste this in some other sheet, you can see that I'm getting this blank values. So what if I want to fill this? Either I have to go here and copy this manually like this, or we have to use visible cells only and convert this into blanks, select these blanks and do something on the formulas. Instead, what we'll do is we'll go to this pivot table, we'll go to this design, and here we have this report layout. Here we have this report, say repeat all items. You can see that I'm getting all the items repeated. So likewise, you can do it. I have the sum of sales. I want to change this to average. Select this heading, double click. Here I have this average, say OK. Double click on this heading, say average. This is one way. Other way is here I have this one small arrow. Click on this value field settings. Here I can change this to any of the summarized calculations or say operations you want, you can change. All right. So let's go and add some data to this. Just take some data. Randomly, I'll just copy this and I'm pasting it here. And what we'll do is in the state column, I will just mention it something like this, say state 01. Some dummy data will just give and we'll say state 2. Okay, added two different states. Let's go to this pivot table and here I'll remove this region just to check all the regions, all the states are available. Let me select here and right click and say refresh. You can see that I'm not getting that state which we just added. See, the state is not added. If you want to add that extra data, you have to go to this pivot table analyze. And here I have this change data source. Here we have this change data source. And then I have to expand the range here like this. Say previously it was some 9,000 change. I made it as 10,206. I'll say OK. Now if you go and check, we'll have that state 1, state 2. You can see here state 1, state 2. So what is the easiest way? Making it dynamic to get the new data. Let's go to this data. I'll just remove this data now. I'm just trying to remove this data and we'll create a pivot table from beginning. So what we'll do this time, I'm not going to create the pivot table like what we did previously. So what we'll do is we'll create the pivot table in a different way. What is that? First, what we'll do is instead of directly going here and creating this pivot table, I'll convert this into table. Here we have something called as table. Click on this. I'll tell you the advantage of it. Once you convert this into table, you can see that this will get converted to a table. And now we'll create the pivot table. Go to this insert and say pivot table. If I click on this pivot table, this time I'll not get the range, I'll get the table name. Say OK. Once I say OK, you can see that I'm getting this pivot table, say placeholder. Let's take this state, taking this state, and then I'll take this sales, and we'll take this profit. Now I have all the states here. Let's change the font. All right. Now what I want is if I add any data without changing the range, if I just click on refresh, I should get the new state what we added. Let's add the new states now. Just copying this. Same thing we'll do. I'll just copy some data here. I'll just paste it just below this. And now the state column, I'll just try to add some states here. So I added two states. Now previously I had to go here and change the range and then refresh. But this time I'll just say right click and say refresh. See, automatically I'll get those two states. So make sure that you are creating pivot table by converting that into table instead of directly creating the pivot tables. The advantage is you don't have to again and again go here and keep changing the range source here like this. You don't have to keep changing the data source. Right. This is the normal pivot table. That is when we have a single sheet. Let's go to another example, that is advanced way of creating the pivot table. Here I have the data Now let me remove the data what we had here. We created the beginning. I'll just remove this. Assume that I have the data here, but I don't have customer name. I don't have location. I only have IDs. Data, I have this segment, ship mode, customer, all these things are there. But if you want to create the report, say summarized reports like what we did previously here in this other table, say if you want to get the data for states, sales, or any other columns, in this data set we cannot do. The reason is segment is in different sheet, ship mode is in different sheet, customer is in different sheet, location is in different sheet, all are in different sheet, but pivot table can be created in only single sheet. But now we can create the reports by connecting other sheets as well. Not only other sheets, from external sources as well. Let's learn how to do that. First, what we should do is we have to convert all the tables, say all the data to a table which we are trying to connect. Select this sheet, go to this insert, and here we have this table. When I click on this table, it will convert the range, whatever we have selected, to a table. Once we convert this table, here I have this table name. I'll just change this to table data. Already exist. I think it's already there. Just name it as table new data. So I've named this as table new data. Let's go to this location and I'll say Control T is a shortcut key. Make sure that this my table as headers is selected and I'll name this as table location. I just changed the name to table location. One more will take, that is ship mode, Control T, and I'll say my table as headers. Say OK, and here we'll say table ship mode. Done. I just took only 3 tables. Now what we'll do is we'll go to this first sheet where we just created the tables. Insert pivot table. I'm trying to create pivot table from different sheets now. Here it is taking the table name what we just created and select here as new worksheet. Here we have this add this data to data model. I'll click on this. Make sure that you're adding the data to data model and say OK. If I click on OK, what it will do is it will take the data to data model and then we can create the pivot tables. Here you can see I'm getting only one table, but we had created some more tables here. So where is that? So what we'll do is here we have this active, click on this all. When I click on this all, you can see that I'm getting all the tables which we just created. But how to get the data here? See, I'll go to this location. I'll take this region and I'll put it here. You can see that I'm getting this. That to select the sales from another table, that is we have the sales, but will not get the proper result. I'll tell you why. Here I'm getting all the values, same values I'm getting. The reason is we are not connected. So what is that connection? Connection is nothing but we have to create the relationship. If it is asking relationship between tables may be needed. Now let's not go to this auto detect. If I say auto detect, automatically it will get detected. So you'll not understand how the relationship is created. So what we'll do is we'll go here. We have something called as relationship. If you go to this pivot table analyze, here we have this relationship. Click on this relationship. Here we'll say new and we're trying to create the relationship manually. This is manually. So previously we got one option, say auto detect, that would have automatically created the pivot table. So what I'll do, I'll go here, select this, and here I'll say new data. This is the table, the main table. Here I want to connect a region. I'll select this location ID. Let's go to the location table. In this, I'm trying to connect location ID. So I'm trying to connect these two, say OK, and say close. Now you can see that I'm getting the results. Same thing will happen if I'm taking the ship mode as well. So what we'll do, we'll create a relationship between the main table and the ship mode, I'll take the ship ID, select the table and say ship ID, say OK. Now the relationship between all the tables will be created. You can see that. Let me take this ship mode and put it here in columns. See, we can create the pivot tables by using something like this as well. We have something called as slicers, timelines. What are the slicers? Slicers are nothing but, let's say we'll go here and we'll take the region here, that is region and state. I'll take this state and I'll take this region and I'll put it on top. I can see that I'm getting all the states here. If I go here and I select central, only central data will come here. But we can also use something called as slicers. Slicers are nothing but the fancy way of filtering the data, that is the pivot tables. Click on the slicer. It will ask for the slicer to be created. I'll select this region, say OK. You can see I'll get one button like this. Click on east. See, you can see that data is getting refreshed. I also have something called as timeline. So what is timeline? Timeline is exactly like what we have this slicer, but this timeline will work only for date. I'll select this order date. You can see that I'm getting one slicer like this, which is only for dates. You can see that when I click on this, I'll get this dates like this. Means dates will be filtered like this. We can go here, we can filter say only by year, say 2014, 15, 16, something like this. So this is for filtering the data. That is, slicers will help us in filtering the data. You can change or format this. I'll go to this slicer. Here I have so many different formats. You can just select here and you can change it like this. Any formats. And if you think that I want to make it something like a buttons with say horizontal, vertical, we have this vertical. I want to place this horizontally. See, if you just drag it, it will keep on increasing. But if you want to make this horizontal like this, select this slicer, go to this columns here and make it 4. See, I'll get the buttons like this. You can modify this if you want. If you don't want this heading, say go to slicer settings, remove this header, and see that I'll get only headings like. So you can format. These are for say report, formattings, and if you want to create some dashboards using this, you can use this. Right. Let's go here. I'll just remove this ship mode. If you think that I want to create some charts, select here, go to this insert. It's called as pivot charts. I'll just create some charts here. Say I'll just take this and I can just go here. Now if I click on the center, you can see that the chart is getting updated automatically. Likewise, you can use this pivot charts as well along with the pivot tables. The pivot tables what we just created, this is within the Excel sheet from various different say sheets, that is within the Excel workbook. What if I want to create the pivot table from external sources? And we'll go to this insert pivot table. Now I don't have the data here, but I'm trying to get the data from external source. Click on this, use an external source, choose connection. What we'll do is we'll say browse for more. We'll try to get the data from other sources. Let's see if you have any other source. I'll just try to get the data from some other sources. Let's go here. Okay, we have some access file here. So you don't have to be aware of the database or something. I'm just trying to get the data from other source. Say open. Now it is creating the connections with other data source. That is, it is not Excel, it is MS Access. So you don't have to be aware of this MS Access. I'm just telling you how we can connect it. Select all these tables, say OK, and say OK. Now if you go to this sheet, here the pivot table will be created. Same thing like what we created the connections between the tables, we can go here, create the relationship and start creating the pivot table. Let's say relationship, new, select the main table. So I want this location. Then here I'll say location and location. Close. Likewise, you can connect all the tables. So as of now, I'll just take only one table, take this region from one table, and then take sales from another table, and see that I'm getting these results. But here I don't have any data in Excel sheet. It is actually trying to connect data from other sources. All right, this is for connecting from external source. So what if I want to get the data? Say for example, here I have some data in different sheets, but I need to append one below the other. Here I have this data with different sheets. I want to combine all this data into one place, that is one single sheet, one below the other. Most of them actually use macros for doing this, programming for doing this, so we don't have to do that. Now we can do this in a very simple way. How to do that? Let's say, for example, I want to combine this data, that is the data which is there in three different sheets. I will go to this data. Here I have something called as get data and say from file. Select this from workbook. It is something like importing the data. So it is trying to connect the data what we have here in this sheet. Copy this, paste it, say okay. I'll select the file from where I need to get the data, say import. It will connect that file, and then it will ask for the tables to import. So I'll just select and say select multiple items. I'm just selecting all these three tables, and here we'll say load. Just say load all the three sheets from different tables that will get loaded here. So once it is loaded, we can combine that. Now all the three sheets have been loaded here. Next is we'll go to this data and we'll say combine. When I say combine, we have this append. Click on this append, it will ask which table to be appended. So these are very simple options. Step by step you have to do. Here it asks for two tables or more than two tables. Since we have three tables to be merged, I'll say select three or more tables. Select table 1, table 2, and table 3. All the tables which we need to append. So here I've taken this table 2 twice. I'll delete this. If you take this one, so I've taken table 1, 2, 3. I'll say OK. Once we say OK, it'll go to one window, that is Power Query Editor, where we can edit the data, but we don't have to edit anything. I'll simply close this. Say keep. I can see that the data from different sheets will be combined. This is for multiple sheets. What if I want to combine the data from different files? Here I have so many files. I think that I want to combine all these files into one single sheet. This is again a very simple task. Previously, we have tried macros for this. How to do that? Let's go here. Again, we'll go to this data, get data. Here, we'll select the folder. Once I select the folder, it'll ask for the path. Let's take the path and I'll paste it here. Say OK. It'll take all the file names here. It'll give all the information about the files what you're trying to import. Go to this combine and say combine and load. When I say combine and load, what it will happen is it will take all the data from various files and it will paste one below the other. Now it will ask for a sample file. Let's select this. say OK. Now all the files whatever we had, so that will be combined one below the other like this. So likewise we can combine the data. So still there are so many options like Power Query editors. We can work on the reports on slicers. We can create some different charts, different dashboards. So whatever we have learned till now, we can just try to utilize in different combinations, and we can work on analyzing of the data, creating reports and creating dashboards, or creating dynamic templates.